So yeah, so I'm gonna do the question that you think that you need me go over, but this one is f prime of x is equal to 1/2 um plus cosine of x, and the cosine of x plus 1/2 is equal to 0. Cosine of x equal to -half. Then x is equal to 2 pi over 3. That is the 1. Okay. So people thought that they have problem with this one, and here's the things. On AP exam, they love this question. Now, if okay, so I will give you like far as AP exam goes, this is what you'll end up be doing. So let's just say if you know how to do calculations very well, and that's probably gonna earn you a good solid 2 points. That you can do calculation very well. That means you consistently getting like getting like either like for let's say 80, 90, or 100 on your test. That's I would say that's those 2 points. Those 2 points are solid, but doesn't give you a passing grade actually. The things that's gonna give you a passing grade is gonna be like analyzing graphing skills and be able to justify. So that's gonna give you another 1 point for sure. And another point that you're probably gonna get is from theorems. Now, if you understand all the theorems, also gonna give you 1 point. So just say if you understand theorems and you understand analyzing the graph, that's no math. That's 2 points by itself. Now, 2 points out of 5, yeah, that's 2 points by itself. So you don't have to be able to do math to get 2 points. You do have to analyze the math. You can do 2 points. Now, to get a 5th points, let's say if you want to score a 5, which is I recommend everybody to do, or at least that's an end goal, that you want to do be able to fight through obstacles. Fight through obstacle is what I usually train you in the test is you're going to see some problem you never seen in your life, and you have to figure out on the spot. And that's how you get a 5 is you can figure out half, not even half the problem, maybe 1/3 of the problem that you met as an obstacle, which is everybody gonna struggle. And you fight through 1/3 of them, you should get yourself a 5. So that is essentially what everybody need to do. So for analyzing graph, you don't have to understand math. I mean, you don't have to do math. You just have to understand math. So I have a lot of people able to score 3 just because I train them this part so well. Their math skill, they can suck, and they still able to pass the exam. Okay, so that's the goal that you want to do. Then you want to get that 3 first. But first of all, you always work from a 3 to a 4 to a 5. You're not going to work from a 5 to a 4 to a 3. You always work the other way. Last year, I will tell you that since we have baseball player here, I have 3 baseball players last year, I think. Will Robinson, Robert, and Derek Perez. Well, there's what's the last name? Lopez. Okay, Lopez. Yeah. So the one thing I would tell you is this though. It's not about how you start, right? So I'm gonna give you an example. Robert usually score 80 to 90 on the test. So he does like he always like this. He's always stay high like this. And he will finish his grade will be like very close to an A, let's say 88. I'll now like bump it up to like 90 just because they put in the work and stuff like that. But Derek is actually start with like C's and D's, and so he will score first test. He did well, and then he start. But the thing about Derek is this though, um, Robert and Derek has 2 different mindset when he's doing something. Robert, when he put his shot focus, he can do it, but Derek is different. Derek is like he doesn't practice a lot, but he practice a very minimum but very very high focus. So that's what I'm trying to say is yesterday I sent a video about intentional practice. If you just practice, it doesn't gain skills. And those of you guys play baseball, if you just practice, doesn't really gain skill. But if you intentional practice, that's how you gain skills. There's a difference between intentional practice versus just practice. If I just go there and shoot 100 jump shot, it doesn't really make me a better basketball player. But if I go out there making 100 jump shot, like focus on very, very fundamental things. If I focus that really well, then I might gain a skill that I might be able to shoot jump shots. And this applied to sports. And the person that said it is he won like multiple world champion for college football. Is Urban Meyer. As much as he doesn't like what he do in Jacksonville, but everything else in Ohio State, University of Florida, he everywhere he goes is winning, and he does say something that's very crucial. Is you don't have to practice. So people practice 30 minutes a day on something and being very consistent, being focused on something. It's gonna be better than people who do 2 hours and not focusing on things. Yesterday I seen Julia like that. Yesterday last day when she was after school, she's really start understanding that instead of focusing on boyfriends. But
Wow, that was negative vibe.
Yeah. Wait.
no, I just like to throw jabs.
For Mr. Yam and your guys was like, see
No,
who has more.
no,
Yeah.
mine.
I feel like it should be a
Mine.
competition.
No, it shouldn't be a competition.
I think it should be a
I think
competition.
it's
That's okay. I can handle my negative, but I'm a very positive person in
Yeah,
general.
that's true. I'll just be fun.
All right, so does that make sense? So do your homework. If you say that you cannot do all the questions, I'm never penalize you for that. I'm gonna say, if you do like 75% and you really sharp focus on trying to get it right, that's gonna be very, very beneficial. Derek does that though. Derek, he'll go back. He'll miss his homework, but he'll go back and will do them, and he will understand those things. But make sure you do that though. Make sure you do it with laser sharp focus, intentional practice versus just practice. That's just something that I would like to share. Let's talk about number 6. We're gonna talk about this a little bit more. First thing you should focus is usually in AP exam they give you f prime of x and ask you to analyze f of x. So they're not asking. So people choosing A for a reason because they look at the maximum of the derivative graph. But you're not looking at the maximum of the derivative graph. You are looking at this line here. This one is x-axis, right? And you look at this, it's where they become 0. So where they become 0 is at -2 when f prime of x is equal to 0. Does that make sense? And before that is positive because of above x-axis. After that is negative. So this is going to be increasing and this is decreasing. So therefore the maximum happened at -2 because we are analyzing original graph but not analyzing f prime of x graph. Does that make sense? We're using f prime of x to analyze original graph. Next question. Yes. This one, Julia did it by herself, right?
Yeah. You did this by yourself?
Very, very impressive. There's two hard part here. Is what does this question want to tell you? Is when they have a minimum at x equal to 2, that means f prime of 2, the slope is equal to 0. If you have minimum, that means slope is equal to 0. So you just have to be able to take a derivative of this. Now, second hard part is taking derivative of k over x. So k over x, the best way is to change that to k to the negative x, kx to the -1. Now, if you take a derivative of that, it's going to be -1 kx to the -2. So that's how I got here. Now, I take a derivative, I set it equal to 0. I plug in 2 for x. Why? Because 2 has a minimum. And that k equal to 16. E. Next question.
Okay, wait. Now that we've talked about the graphic, can we do 8?
Yep, we'll talk about 8. 8 is lovely. What do you guys think the answer is?
I got B.
Yeah.
Not D.
D is correct. Anybody get different answer? Natalie, what you get? Huh? Okay, so then you gotta ask. I didn't get it. Yeah, no, it's okay to be says I don't get it. This is not a test. This is a where we're gonna focus on. So me, like, I was talking about female basketball coach. I was telling him says
Wait, female
I-
basketball coach?
basketball coach. Yeah, the for Olympia.
That's not funny.
Olympia high school's basketball coach. This is recruit a new basketball coach, and I was telling him I feel like I'm more like a coaching instead of a teacher. I will coach you like how to do the right thing and how, this is what the thing. And he told me it's like I try to be more like a teacher, even though I'm a coach. So it's pretty interesting. We had an interesting conversation. But anyway, speak of which, if you look at this as f prime of x graph, right? Now, f prime of x is positive. That means the function is what? Original function is what? It's only go up. So if you something only go up, do you have a maximum?
No.
No. Okay, let's look at G. G is going down, 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 flat, up, up, up. Do you see a maximum happen?
No.
No. So this is not the right choice. Now, here I'm going to ask you. You say D is where it happened, which is true. But where do you think a maximum happened? Where do you think mostly likely happened at which particular x value?
2. Of H of X? No, H of X. Am I understanding what you're trying to say?
You're doing well, but can you explain to the other people why is 2?
Oh, it is 2?
It is 2.
Okay, because the 0.5 out 1, it shows it's increasing. The 0 out 2 means that it's flat, like the slope is equal to 0. And then since 3 is negative 0.5, it's decreasing.
Exactly. Is that what? Do you guys understand that? So not only you guys told me it's H, you guys told me where did it happen?
Wait.
It's clicking. Light bulb. Little Miss Einstein over here.
Oh
Is
my
Einstein
god,
over here?
bro.
No.
Einstein? That remind me of a show. Do you guys watch Little Einstein when you grew up?
Oh man.
That was Nihao Calais. That was so.
Do you know how to speak Chinese after that?
No.
Okay.
I know what a panda and koala look like. Yeah. I used to watch Strawberry Shortcake, and I watched Dora for a really embarrassing long time.
Oh my god, I love
So long.
So crazy long.
Dora? Dora's cool.
Oh no, bro. That was already.
Okay, so the next question I want to talk about 9. 9 is a reading question. Did anybody get an answer? What did you guys get?
9. Oh.
Oh yeah. I got D.
Matten, what'd you get?
I did.
How'd you know you did it wrong?
Wait, not?
You didn't get an answer in the answer choice?
I got A too.
Armin, what'd you get? I don't know what is the answer, but I'm gonna tell you how to read though. Okay, so remember how to read a question. The problem is that the wording of the question is very confusing. I don't blame you if you got it wrong, because I did this question too, and I got it wrong in the past before if I tried to do it too quick. Sometimes take a breather, look at this question, and pay attention to the question we're really asking. What's the question really asking? Well, they're not asking minimum value of the original function. How do I find the minimum value of original function? You do a first derivative, you do a number line test, you check the number line, right? However, what is the question asking? They say the minimum of derivative of f of x.
If we do it for two,
You have to do what?
double, yeah, double derivative.
Double derivative. Did you do that?
Bro, wait, what?
Ah, f prime of x is equal to 15x to the fourth plus 20x to the third. F double prime of x is equal to 60x to the third plus 60x squared. And that's 60x squared times x plus 1. And that's, you're going to set it equal to 0. And you have 60x squared equal to 0, x plus 1 equal to 0, x equal to negative 1. You're going to do 0 and, oops. That was really bad. Negative 1 to 0. And that's going to be 60x squared and x plus 1 as the number line test. Now, what's the nice thing about number line test here is this test actually is super easy because that's going to be positive because you square something. And if you do, let's say negative 2, that's going to give you negative. If you do half, negative half is positive, positive. So positive, positive, negative. So negative 1 is your minimum.
Okay. We have come today again.
Okay. And that minimum is going to be at negative 1. So the answer is D.
Wait, can you slow down a little bit so
I should have changed my name of the classroom. It's a refugee camp.
What?
What? Yeah.
Bro, wait, wait, rewind. Wait.
I don't want to get deported.
Somebody's going to the stream and flip that out. Actually stream all the things.
Because everybody is, they have a substitute. They always end up in my classroom.
Whose
Yeah.
class? Whose class?
My class.
No, whose class do they have a sub for?
I don't know who's the class. is.
I don't know either.
Not the barely was. You really said.
All right, next question.
Oh, at least for us to say it.
Okay, let's just. Any other questions?
Wait.
Nothing? Okay.
Which one?
Who's illustrating negative? X equals
Next question.
Could you scroll down a little bit? Well, I want to see the options. Oh, 14, 14.
14, okay.
Oh, I got it right.
Wait, what did I get?
I got C.
I didn't ask what you got.
I'm not answering your question, I'm just saying. I got C.
Okay, so
What period? Okay.
So, 14 is definition of derivative, and this implying it's f prime of negative 2. If that's negative, then that function is decreasing. That's it. Simple as that. Super easy question, super quick.
Wait.
Wait, what?
Oh, it's positive. It's a positive. Sorry, I read it wrong. I allows a negative sign for a reason. It's increasing. Yeah.
Wait, why is it?
Wait, why is it increasing now?
Because it's f prime of x. F prime of negative 2 is a 2.637. That means slope over there is a positive.
Ooh. Okay.
Got it. Now on to the graphs. Can we do 16?
16 is super easy. So I'm gonna show you again. Again, do a number line test.
For 15.
So if you do a number line test for this one, then let's just say this is at -1 and 1, and that's gonna give you negative, positive, negative. So this means decreasing before -1, increasing, decreasing. So the only one that fulfills that is B. Again, do you see like how I do just do number line test on the derivative? I just look at a leg above or underneath x-axis.
Okay.
And if you do the same thing on the next one, you should get E.
16 right, but 15 wrong.
Oh wait, it's E or B?
E.
Oh my god, 15, I did 16 wrong.
Because if you do a number line test here, at 0, this is a positive, this is a negative. So that means before 0 is functions going up, after 0 the functions going down. Now I also did those questions here. The question I did here is, I like that answer C, but I want to modify that answer C a little bit. It's between 0 to 1, parenthesis, and from 1 to infinity. Now, what I did is I did a derivative. If I did a derivative correct, I should end up with this.
Yeah.
Now, what's the nice thing about 1 minus x squared to the square? That is always positive. It doesn't matter what value I plug in, because you're gonna end result is gonna be square anyway, so it's always positive. You look very comfortable.
A little bit. It kind of hurts his neck, but I'm getting there.
Somebody stole my chair.
You're comfortable? Your big chair?
Yeah.
That's what I have.
Huh?
Right here.
Oh.
Oh, that new kid stole it. Who the hell is that new kid in my classroom?
He's Asian. He can confuse.
He was on your math kit.
Uh,
You don't remember him?
um,
I don't even know all the names of these people in our class, in our actual class. So I'm not even.
Deborah,
Bad.
Now Loki, I
how you not know? Nathan. Talk. Okay, Nathan. Shh. Okay, next question. Next question. Next question. Next question.
It's two.
Any other questions?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Answer to 12. Okay, now let's look at this one. So the answer for 12 is this. So if I take a derivative of this, so that's going to give you ax to the third plus ax. And you can factor out ax times ax squared plus 1. If you do a number line, it's going to be between 0. I don't need to do I and negative I. No need. We only deal with real numbers here. And I actually don't worry about x squared plus 1 because that's always positive. I only have to deal with ax, so that's negative positive. So it's going to be negative positive. So negative infinity to 0 is decreasing. And I would not do bracket, I would do parentheses. Because 0 is not really decreasing. 0 is a constant at that point. So it's not really decreasing, so not including those points. Next questions, next questions.
10? Oh, never mind. Same concept.
Same concept, yeah.
Yeah.
You good? Okay, let's talk about some number line tests that you might have later. And this is a number line test I want to talk about. So I want you to take a derivative and I want you to do a number line test on this particular questions. And make sure you take a derivative correctly. And make sure you do a number line test correctly.
Yeah, it's a cousin. We're doing great.
It is cup. Good job.
Thank
Let's
you.
do.
Wow.
Why did you get triggered about that? I don't understand. Refugee camp. I'm just trying to say like all the people that doesn't want it to have the substitute, they end up migrating to my class.
He's been still going over it.
Well, you're making it worse for yourself.
Yeah, just stop.
No, I don't think so. I'm gonna stand on my ground. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna stay on my ground. As you know what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just trying to say I'll take anybody in.
Bro, I didn't even say anything, Mr. EA.
Yeah, I don't know why you get triggered.
I wasn't triggered. If I was triggered, I would have gone off on you like I did yesterday, but I didn't.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm not triggered.
Why?
It was a whole, it was a discussion.
Yo, are those fake or real?
Mine?
Yeah.
They're real, unfortunately.
Real what?
They cost too much, my shoes.
Easy.
Yeah.
Ouch.
See then.
That just humbled me and like.
What?
You could have paid for 40 people to just do that. You could have paid for my rent.
What's so special about this?
The white? I don't know. Kanye West made them. That's what's so special about them.
Have you seen the ugly ass shoes with the
Oh,
little foot?
It was from a dog.
You don't look at the Kanye West
This is my
music?
birthday.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I hear it a lot.
The guy's a jackass.
He is an idiot, but his music is just so good.
I can listen to
No.
on my like phone without.
Yeah, exactly. Separate the art of the artist. I'm a big.
He's an idiot.
He is an idiot, but.
I don't like him. I don't like Kyrie Irving.
Oh wait, he's that basketball player. Isn't he?
No, he thinks Earth's flat.
Yeah, I think that's
Stupid idiot.
Kyrie Irving.
And he's the one that posting the same thing as Kanye is posting, or the anti-Semitic thing. Yeah,
Girl.
I don't even know what that movie is about. Does anybody know what that movie is about?
A movie?
Nope.
What
No,
movie?
Next time. Okay, okay.
Wait, which
Are
movie?
you gonna be here next?
Okay, did you guys finish taking derivative and the number line test?
Okay, you have your pause. No, for real. Oh, you said equal to, no, I don't know where we're supposed to. No. I'm just gonna take the L.
Did you guys do derivative right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you didn't do chain rule?
Yo, when I say.
Alright, let me go back to change your derivative test score.
Stop.
Alright, well.
Stop.
You didn't forgot to do a chain roll? Anybody forgot to do a chain roll before that, bro?
No, I forgot the inside. I forgot. Bro, that's the biggest part.
That's like the biggest part, bro.
Okay. Yes.
I'm canceling you.
I got to a certain part.
That's
now
where-
I'm just
that's where-
stuck.
You can try.
Is that what you wanted?
Okay.
Bye. Cancel my what? No, that can't be canceled. I don't know. I forgot to do this. How to do the cheat. Yeah. Cancel you, Mr.
We don't need to
EA.
cancel him, guys.
It's
But I
okay.
think
He's for the AP exam.
Oh my god, that's why I was yesterday. I didn't know what to do after.
I honestly don't care.
Bye.
That's one term.
Oh.
Okay, so if you do here, now be careful how you do number line tests like this.
Yeah, why is the 3 not there?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Ye. Where do you-
3 doesn't matter. It doesn't contribute to sign change, but that's fine. You want me to put it down
Oh.
3?
We can keep the 3.
Yeah, we keep the 3.
That's fine.
Help us stay together.
Yeah, it is fun. Okay, so I here it's gonna give you a negative sign, positive sign, because if I assign negative number, it's gonna give you a negative number. However, on the bottom is gonna be small, things that you have to pay attention to. So if I plug in, let's say a very big number, let's say -3. -3 squared is positive. Positive minus 4 is positive. Positive to the 1/3 power is still positive. So this one is positive. Now, some people have problem like this here. Between -2 to 0. Now, I will plug in some number really close to 0. Just let's say negative 0.0001. That's easier to see because that x squared becomes insignificant, and that's just going to be negative 4 to the 1/3 power. If it's negative 4 to the 1/3 power, it's always negative. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And also, if something like say 0.01, it didn't change any situation. And if you plug in bigger than 2, that's what's positive. So it'd be negative, positive, negative, positive. So
Wait,
it's gonna create, this one is the minimum, and this one is the max, and this one's the min. And if I wanted to plug in, eventually if you graph it, it's gonna come up as a negative 2, 2, and that's gonna be here, that's gonna be here. If I plug in 0 in the original function, that's gonna give you cube root of cube root of 16. So cube root of 16, I don't know the root of 16. So eventually the graph's gonna go like this, decreasing.
Mr. Gay,
Yep.
why, can you explain again why really small numbers are negative?
Okay, just imagine that if you plug in, like say 0.001, if it's 0.001 squared, it's gonna be even smaller. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And that negative 4 become the dominant.
Yeah.
And negative 4 is dominant to the 1/3 is going to be negative. Negative to the 1/3 power is going to be negative. However, the question can change. If the things is 2/3 here, what will happen? That means everything's going to be positive. Do you see why if it's 2, then everything going to be positive? Because you cube root and then going to square root after.
Okay.
So those are the things that you should pay attention to small details when you do a number line test, because we're gonna do a lot of number line tests next week, and you have to make sure you know it. Okay, so the graph will end up to be like this, and that's it.
How did you solve to get -2?
I can plug in original functions. If I plug in original function, it's gonna give me 0. So at this point, I can get to here. If I plug in original function, it's going to give me 0. If I just plug in 0 into the original function, it's also going to give me something. Okay, also another question I want to go over is how much time I have.
9 minutes.
Okay, good. I want to go over something like this. Oh, so what if I have f prime of x equal to -2 over 2 minus x? Be careful with that, something like this. If you end up derivative end up to be this, I'm not saying that it's always going to be this. How about I'm going to do something else? Let's just say x squared plus 1. Okay. Let's just say if I have some derivative end up to be this. Where's my critical points?
Bottom, like in the denominator, maybe the dots. Like,
Where's the critical points here?
oh, solve?
Oh wait, that's already with the derivative taken?
Yeah, it's already taken derivative. I just assume that it's already derivative. This is the end result.
That's
Those are imaginary.
2.
Do I have to worry about imaginary?
No.
No.
Okay, so then don't worry about imaginary. What else do I have to worry about?
2 minus x and negative.
That's a plus.
So where is my critical number at? 2, good. Okay, so what are things I need to test? -2. Why do I need to test -2? Because -2 offer me sign changes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because that means the whole spectrum is going to be negative and negative. Because the negative sign does offer me an alternate sign. So that you should including in the number line.
You didn't even have to look on it.
That's a 2 minus x. Right? Be careful the order though. It's not x minus 2. So usually it's negative positive. But if you plug in, let's say 0, I'm actually going to get positive here. And if it's 3, it's actually going to be negative. So the signs actually change than what you used to. And also x squared plus 1. X squared plus 1, does that offer you sign changes?
Isn't it?
No.
It doesn't matter because they're always positive. It doesn't matter what value you plug in. X squared plus 1 is always positive. unless you plug in like I, but I is going to be a complex number. We're not dealing with those. We only deal with real number. So I here it's going to be negative and positive. So at 2, it's going to be a minimum if original function is allowed, or if original function has 2 minus x on the bottom, then that's not going to be a minimum. It's going to be asymptote. So asymptote still have to take account for when you do a number line test. So those are things that you should pay attention to. So I'm going to end with this. I'm going to end with this. I want you to take a derivative of this, and then I want you to do a number line test.
This is negative in front.
Why?
Yes.
Why?
Your class really be trifling. I said you can negative vibe yourself out of here.
Oh.
So the like 5 of them now.
That's it. That should be art. I like 3 tally mark there.
I know, that's what I'm saying. What did you ask for? The same thing?
I am expressing one.
Sorry. I missed you. She's not gonna try to help you. You still get negative about her. I know. No. Care about you guys. I'm sure. Yeah, can you do that? Can you not do that?
Not just happy, but
I'll have to deal with it later. Can you not do that?
I did the question. Didn't I?
I didn't do much. I split it.
Can I go to the bathroom?
I split it to x to the
Yeah.
over.
Too, but either way works. Either way works. There's multiple ways of doing calculus for it.
Same thing.
I don't even know.
I think help him do with the work. I'm doing.
Uh-huh.
Negative. The power of negative.
Oh yeah. So the fraction works.
Okay.
1 over. My turn.
Okay.
Oh, stop it.
I think I'm just breathing, and you're like, stop.
Okay.
Right, this is done because n plus.
Can you find out when it's negative?
I think
Yes, I think it's negative x. But not negative 1. Yeah. Then what would it be? This
it's
power
2 over x cubed.
2. Right? Right. I figured it. No, that's not gonna work.
Okay, so let's take a derivative. Um,
You guys know what I'm talking about.
Okay, let's figure out what's the best way to take a derivative. I personally, I'm gonna if I were to do quotient rule, I think it's gonna be slightly kind of annoying by it. So I will do actually x squared. I will do this x squared and then plus 1 over x squared, right? So now I will take a derivative of that. So it'd be negative. I hear it's gonna give you what? Derivative of x squared is 2x, right?
Why did the power change
Because
in the X?
it's split.
Yeah.
x4 over x squared plus 1 over x squared. Now what's the derivative of x to the negative 2? So that's going to be what? Negative 2x to the negative 3, right? Now what I do is I will change this to, I already take a derivative, so it'll be 2x, and I'm going to multiply by negative 2, this is a minus, negative 2 to the x to the cube. I'm going to multiply both sides by x to the 4th. Okay, I gotta go.
Yeah. We all can leave together. Great.
What is happening?
I gotta go print out.
Oh,
He's definitely a Ryan. Every day is an interesting day. Let's go. Very good. You can drop this class?
no, drop.
Bye. Another podcast.
No.
No, we can read our messages.
What about one four? Here's
You maybe that's the one they unlock but like as a message to and I guess he doesn't oh what? Did you do you have to write like a little message.
Oh, yeah.
I heard that. Other incomprehensible garbage. I wrote the names of all in the classroom and said, I'll see you when you sleep. And then the class is like, yeah, I know, that's how it is.
What now?
But then this is advertising.
Oh, yeah.
Did you write the test?
I don't know. I said I was gonna go.
I have enough time to cheat.
well, even if I don't know, I mean, he did say it was a trouble. He comes back.
Here.
I was a double.
Okay, I don't think. We don't have a line
How long do you think it'll be?
Here, like that.
Why don't you have a term? Why don't you have a term? Sarah? Why do you not have a term? Yeah, she asked why. And I'm why they need that.
Our base equals the.
Okay, where is he? Is he gone? Honestly, I'm more than
Over there. You understand? You're rolling thing. Now they're rolling thing.
Made a mistake by
Most of the questions are set up only if I ask you to evaluate and you can evaluate.
Do we use an calculator?
No, you may not. Huh?
Yeah, I can draw.
Okay, so remember, set up correctly, boundary, dx, dy, pi, or 2 pi. Make sure you find intersection. There's some question that asks you to be careful. There are reasons why you have to be careful. Hopefully you see it. So the first question can only use disk and washer. All I will do is I will set up all the stuff first, and I'll go back to evaluate it. Yeah, that's what it is. Which question is that?
Number 2. The second number 2 on the back.
Okay, the one with cross section should be x equal to 0. Sorry, that question, it should be 0 there for
X equals 2 and X equals 0.
Could be y equal to x equal 0.
y equal to 2, x equal to 0. So this question says, does a find the volume solid result when the area region enclosed by y equal to square root x and y equal to 2, and that should be x equal to 0. So let me write down the board. Y equal to square root x, y equal to 0, and x equal to 0. Okay, so
Y equals 2.
oh, y equal to 2.
Number 4.
This question here says cross sections. So this has A, B, C, D. And pay attention, part D is as perpendicular to y-axis. My circle. Remember, you just had to set up on all the questions. Just say set up, set up. So I will set up all the first, and then I'll go back to evaluate them. There was a FRQ question in the back. A lot of them are just set up, so I think it's at the last part.